Hi, everybody. I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb, and we're the ARTyRV channel. We're here tonight. We're your hosts, and we're going to be not with the most,
Not with the most.
But welcome to the ARTyRV channel. We'll have a glass Q&A tonight. You can ask us questions about glass, about techniques, about the business, whatever you want to ask us about. Just put a Q in the chat, and we'll try to answer it.
And tonight, Barb, is Chapter 1, how we got started.
Yeah, we're going to share with you how we got started in stained glass, how we quit our jobs and went full time. So
that was
we're
scary.
going to share that with you.
I might have nightmares about that.
With you. It was fun. It was exciting. And yeah, we'd do it all over again.
Sure we would. I wouldn't trade anything.
And it was
for
hard. And we'll tell you all about it. So
later
welcome,
on in the show.
Welcome everyone. We have a lot of new people here tonight.
Great. A lot of new faces.
Yes.
Welcome to the ARTyRV channel, guys. Those of you that are new to the channel and those of you that are coming back, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We'll dive into a glass chat in a few minutes.
We will. We'll talk about it.
But if you have a question, just put it in the chat and we will answer it. And it can be about all kinds of glass.
Yeah, and just make sure you put a Q in front of it so that Barb can pick it up. It's much easier for her to do that way. And then tonight, excuse me, we also have 5 more pieces of our Yakagani sample kit coming at you live.
Yeah, so that should be cool. So
that's going to be awesome. So this will be sample number 40. Number 40.
Yeah, so everyone seems like they're having really, really hot weather or bad weather. It's either one or the other. I hope you guys are safe and not having the flooding and all of that, but staying cool in your home. It's kind of too hot. If you can.
It's too hot to be even in the shop.
It's too hot to even walk outside. Well, you have to walk sometime, but
yeah, so just be careful. Remember, guys, stay hydrated. You know the rules when it's this hot outside. Everybody knows the rules. Hey, everybody, take a moment. Ray's in the house tonight. Let's give him a big thumbs up. He works really hard for you guys and for us, and we appreciate everything. So, Ray, it's good to see you tonight. Thank you. Tell Susie hello for us and a big hug.
Yes. So, should we give some people some shout-outs right now while we're waiting for everyone to come in?
Sure.
Carol's here, Robin's here, Maureen's here, Julie, Arlene, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Mary Beth and Frank are here. Rita's here. Nick Kelly's here. Joyce is here. And PC Mendy and Mary Beth and Frank. Okay. Mary Beth's got a question.
All right, Mary Beth.
Or it might be Frank. I'm not
Frank,
sure.
I don't know.
And they said they got their package.
Good deal. And Frank, I put the directions right on the baggie for you. So.
Question. They're working on our largest piece yet, 14 inches wide by 20 inches tall. It's in copper foil. Should it have any reinforcing or will the wood frame be sufficient?
I think it depends on the design, but if you're going to put it into a wooden frame, I believe that you'll be just fine because a frame distinctly says it's going to hang, so it should be fine. It's not going to be leaning, and it's not going to be laying flat. So yeah, I think the frame will be fine. And if you feel you need a little something in there, just use the restrip if you need to. But at 14 by 21, I think you should be fine. It should be strong enough to hold itself together. So.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's the expert, not me.
Not me.
I guessed. And I was right.
You know what, guys? Believe it or not, she can say I'm the expert or whatever. We have done a lot of projects together over the 40 years that we've been in business. So, yeah, I think she has as much knowledge as I do. But what she does is she thinks things through a little longer than I do.
I'm the thinker.
She's the thinker.
Sometimes I think it through too much. But
it's okay. It's all worked out because we're still here.
Okay. Carol's got a question.
Hey, Carol.
Carol says, a friend of mine wants to make 3 stained glass inserts in her front door. Do you recommend making templates even though they're rectangle?
I don't think I would, Carol. I think what you would want to do is do your measuring and then just give yourself a 1/16 of an inch left and right and a 1/16 top and bottom and that'll give you enough room for expansion, and you can put them right in, take the molding out, put the molding back in with your windows, and I think they'll be fine. You know, most door panels are, I don't know, 9.5 by 11.5 or something. And if she's got those 3 little panels across the top, I think it'd be fine just to measure them. And like I said, just give yourself a 1/16 of an inch. Speaking of measuring doors, everybody, I got a glass size for y'all for the new French doors that are going into the new studio in the garage. So remember, the doors are going to be laying on their side. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, hon, I'm sorry.
I only have one of them, so
Okay.
be careful.
So the doors, remember guys, the doors are going to be on the horizontal. And these are 18 light French doors. The glass size, if any of you viewers out there would like to participate with a small little panel, so this is the theme. Those of you that want to participate in this, we would like you to send a small panel of where you view from. Just a small little, just a
What's
little
the
panel.
size
Here, let me
again?
give you the size first. Don't go crazy. Ready? 10 inches by 6.5. And Barbara and I thought it would be a great theme for our viewers to send us a small window, if you want to be in, because it's going to be there forever. It's going to be behind us every time we go live on Monday night and any other time we go live in the studio. Just send us a small little panel that represents either the state you're viewing from or the community that you're viewing from.
Yeah, the city,
the
landmark,
a landmark where you're from.
Something that tells us where
you're from. And we would love to put it in the door. And remember, we're laying the door on its side, and the size of the panel is 10 inches
10 inches wide.
by 6.5 tall.
So it's long.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what it is. We'll be talking about it. We'll have videos coming out next week, and we'll show you the door.
We were out in the
show you
garage
where
today.
it's going today. Yeah, we were filming today for this week's video, and I tried to get some video this weekend, but I couldn't get him out of his pajamas.
Well, you know what? Last week was a really hot week. This week's going to be another long week.
I'm just kidding.
And then,
It wasn't
oh,
that
this
bad.
weekend
He
we have
worked,
class.
He actually worked.
That's right. We have full
Saturday.
classes this weekend,
Yes.
too. Full classes.
It was just
Saturday.
Sunday. He kind of lounged. Did you cut the grass Sunday?
I cut the grass Saturday when I got home from work.
Oh, okay. Okay.
7:07 p.m.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That's
Why
what time
is
I cut
that?
the grass. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I got a,
Oh, yeah.
my grandson gave me a smartwatch. And I just started using it today.
It
That's
is
what
smart,
that
let
noise
me tell you.
was.
It's
Yes,
pretty smart.
very smart.
It's pretty smart. All right, so we got a question. I think. I don't know. But, guys, everything, y'all have the board lit up very colorful tonight with your thumbs and your emojis and everything. And these beautiful pink hands waving at us. That's awesome, guys. I'm waving at Ray. Ray, you got some thumbs up. And it's awesome. It's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay. Kelly wants to know, what wax do you like to finish your pieces of stained glass?
Well, for years I have just used the turtle wax, soft turtle wax, the liquid turtle wax in the bottle, and that to me I like that the best. And if you're doing small sun catchers, one of our viewers, and actually one of our viewers that took a class, the beginner class of making sun catchers, they said, and I tried it, and it does work really good. Lemon pledge on your sun catchers, like you use for your furniture polish. That's a wax, and man, it makes the sun catchers look really well. So I would do that, but I like the liquid turtle wax, not brand name turtle wax, but the liquid wax, and that you can use on that. But here's the thing. Make sure when it's completely dry before you start to polish it off, make sure when you do polish it off that you get it all off. Because what you'll find is when you're waxing panels, wax turns white when it dries. And you'll see that sometimes it'll catch up right against the very edge of your solder joint, of your solder line. So make sure that when you're polishing, that just because you think it's off, give it a few minutes, let it dry again just in case, and then go back and polish it again, because you'll hate yourself if you leave it on there. So
I apologize if there was a commercial. I don't know why that was in there. Michelle said, why the commercial? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I usually run the live stream with no commercials in it, and there really shouldn't be one, because I specify no commercials in the live stream.
right,
So
because
apologize.
they sure don't pay us for them.
I apologize, and if I can fix that, I will.
Yeah,
Well, they
well-
will if they're running,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we never run them. Okay.
Yeah, we don't run commercials.
Not on purpose, Michelle. I'm sorry. Okay. Why should I use? This is another question.
Okay.
Should I use cane around the edges for the door panels?
No.
Just
No,
a little
not at
copper
all.
foil.
Because what you're removing from that is going to be just a piece of window pane glass, picture frame glass, and just do the copper foil around the edges and tin them, and then put it in the opening and put your moldings back on. You're good to go, Carol.
Yeah, I won't worry.
Carol says she loves turtle wax. Yeah, I mean, for years, that's all I used, wasn't it? And you guys, if you buy the little pint bottle, I guess it's a pint. Maybe it's a pint. I don't know. But it lasts a very, very long time because it doesn't take much. Once you get your polishing cloths with the wax on it, it's just like your car. You just keep on getting it. So,
Question was on the panel, 10-inch horizontal or vertical?
10-inch. Guys, here's the thing.
Horizontal.
Horizontal, yeah. In the glass glazing industry, your left to right, or your width, should always be first, and then your height should be second. So if you're doing a door that's 24 by 36, if you're doing a door that's 36 by 24, then it will either turn out right or turn out wrong. But just remember, most of your contractors and your glazing contractors all measure left to right first, top to bottom second. So your width is always first.
10 by 6 and
10
a
by
half.
6 and a
10
half.
on the horizontal.
10 on the horizontal, guys.
Okay, and how much time will you have to finish the project? It'll be mid-September.
Yeah, mid-September. And you can send them in anytime, because whatever spaces are available while we're working on the studio will be filled with colored glass first. If I don't have a panel from one of our viewers to fill that space, we'll put colored glass in it until someone shows up, till it shows up, okay? So remember, so you can contact
This
us.
will be an ongoing project.
Yes. So we have we have 36 of them. So
Yeah.
and then we have 2 more French doors.
Yeah.
So don't feel that you'll be left out, because you won't. So 10 by 6.5. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
should
I
be.
really am.
Okay. Let's see. Rita has a question. Is that the next question? Oh,
Rita,
Diane
hey.
has a question.
Okay.
The areas where we teach our classes, is it accessible for wheelchair users?
Yes.
Yes, it is. What's the deadline? We already answered that. Rita asked, is there a way to tell if solder or copper foil still in the package is still good? I remember you mentioned the copper foil needed to be sticky. Found a seller who is retiring from the hobby.
If it's still in the package, you'll probably be all right if it's not been opened. If he has open rolls of copper foil and they're in Ziploc baggies, you'll probably be all right. You know, so and keep it and remember too, you're purchasing used materials. So if you pay $4 for a roll of copper foil that cost you $23 now, and the first maybe 4 or 5 feet of it's bad, you're okay, you're good. So what I would do is I would get those rolls of copper foil, and I mean, just peel back 3 feet of it, maybe like 1, 2, 3 spools off of it, tear it, and then open it and see if that backing is still sticky. And if it is, you're fine. Then what you want to do now that you've got it open, just put it in a Ziploc baggie and put one of those little things that come in your pill bottle that are full of desiccant. just throw one of those in the baggie, and that'll keep all the moisture out of it. Keep your copper foil from oxidizing. Y'all, this time of year, the humidity is ridiculous. And I've even gone as far as putting my foil caddies from the classroom into Ziploc baggies.
Yeah, Rita said she found a seller who was retiring from the hobby. It probably is still good.
It's probably still good.
Yeah.
We've got
Well, we know that the solder would be good. Just unroll a little bit of it, and underneath should be fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. The knucklehead's back.
Okay, another question.
Okay.
Foil be okay for the windows? Yes, we're
Yes.
asking one window from each viewer, and make it about where
Where
you're
you
from.
are.
Where
Yeah.
you're from. Something that represents your state or your location or your city, or
It could
maybe
just
a
be the
monument
bird.
or
It could just be a
the state bird, whatever you want.
A simple stained glass of the bird bath in your backyard, but it's where you're from, so that'd be awesome.
Yes, and foil is good.
Foil's fine, yeah.
And welcome, Matilda. Matilda
Hey.
said Matilda is a member, and she's been watching forever but never caught the live.
Oh, well,
good
hey,
to have you
welcome.
here.
Thank you. And thank you for being a member, Matilda.
And she has a question.
Okay.
I have been working on 2 projects that have been copper foil but not soldered. They've been sitting forever. Do I need to clean the copper foil at all before soldering?
You know what? I would get some double-aught steel wool, which is really fine, almost as fine as you can purchase. And, yeah, you'll need to steel wool the copper foil for sure. Be careful with it, though, because you can also lift the copper foil up away from the glass if you're not careful. But do be careful with it. I think normally what happens if I were to forget and leave something like that, I would pick each individual piece up and steel wool it and then put it back down, and then, because it's probably oxidized quite a bit to where soldering it would just be a nightmare for you. If it's been sitting that long, how long did she say? A long time? That's a long time. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
careful,
I don't
Matilda.
know.
I think I would go ahead and steel wool each
Definitely
individual piece
steel
of
wool,
glass.
yeah.
For sure.
And then vacuum it, get all that steel wool up, and,
Yeah.
and you should be good to go.
And then put a heavy duty flux, use a ruby flux on it maybe, and that'll help do all the processes too. So.
Okay, let's see.
Boy, her breath's hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. She's hot.
She must be. Go get a drink, knucklehead.
Okay, I need to. Okay, any recommendations for something up to 6-inch pieces on a kiln? We have some kilns on Amazon, on our Amazon page.
The 12-inch one, right? It's on
Yeah,
there.
and 6 pieces. How big of pieces would you need? I don't know what size those kilns are, but
Yeah, the shelves, the ones that we have on our Amazon page are a 7-inch by 7-inch by 4-inch, and then there's a 10-inch by 10-inch by 6-inch.
but I
They're
would.
starter kilns.
Yeah, I would suggest to go there and click on one of those kilns, and it'll take you to the bigger kilns in that product line.
Right.
So I would start there. But yeah, you.
And you can always do multiple firings. You don't have to do them all at one time. You can fire, a 6-inch disc, and then fire another one, and then fire another one. So it's not imperative that you fire them all at the same time.
John wants to know if we've made Tiffany lampshades before.
In the past, yes, we have.
Thank you, Ray. Ray's put up the Amazon shop for us.
Thank you, Ray.
If you want to go there and look at it would be under kiln infusing supplies.
Yeah, we have made Tiffany shades in the past, and we actually used the main mold that we used to use were the Odyssey molds. They're just so easy to work with, I found, and then at one time we even owned some 360-degree wooden molds for Tiffany lamps, and they were we got flooded, had a bad storm here in 1999. and we were flooded. And while the building was supposed to be closed up while we was drying out and all that stuff, everything got stolen. So that was it for that. And I'm not sure about Miss Mary. She's just being a little hoot, but she does have a snack in there on her.
I'm going to get it.
Okay, her little.
We have another question.
Okay.
Lokai wants to know, what is the best way to draw a large oval pattern around 30 inches high?
Okay. Well, there's actually there's a formula for it, and it can be done with 3 nails and a string, Lokai. Actually, it's done with 2 nails. You put your nails 30 inches apart, and you put a string. I'm trying to think of that. It'd probably be easier to do, but I can't. I don't have anything here to show you. But yeah, so there's a formula that makes a. I mean, you can make if it doesn't if you're doing an oval and you can't make a pattern and you're just doing an oval to do an oval, Lokai, then what I would do is I would take a piece of paper and fold it in half, and then fold it in half again and do 1/4 of the oval, and then cut it out with a pair of scissors. And then when you open it up, you have it. So if you want to do a 30-inch oval, you're going to need to go 15 inches tall. And if you want to go, typically an oval is going to be 16 inches wide. So you're going to go 15 inches tall, and you're going to come down here at where you folded the paper, and you're going to put a line at 8 inches. And then you're going to go from 8 inches up to 15 in an arc, and then cut that out, open the page, and there's your oval. If it's not going to fit anything, it doesn't really matter how you make the oval.
Yeah.
But typically your oval is half the width of the height. Typically.
I'm not sure what you're going to use the oval for, Lokai, but the problem with ovals is if you make an oval, you're going to have a hard time finding a frame for that oval.
Right.
Because ovals vary so much. So the best thing to do is find a frame that's oval and build your window to that size.
And use that as a pattern.
And use that as your template.
Because the
other way around doesn't usually work.
And then the other thing, like Barbara was saying, if you make an oval, they're as difficult as a circle to hang. I mean, you've got to, because they're wanting to flip forward and lay back and roll over. So you have to be real careful, Lokai. But most, let's say, the woodworking book that I have on my desk shows me how to make a pattern for an oval with 2 nails and a piece of string. So.
Okay. So, did we make that lamp? Yeah, many years ago we made this lamp.
This one here?
Yeah.
This is all bullseye glass, y'all. All of this glass here, this is all bullseye. This is really pretty. We've had that lamp for,
golly, 25 years.
I was going to say closer to 30. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, let's see here. Any more questions? What is the best way to draw an oval? We got that one. So are we ready to, what are we doing? You want to do a...
No, I'm just getting some stuff together while everybody's trying to come up with some more questions for us, maybe.
Why don't we go to your glass chat? You got your glass over there?
I do.
Okay. Let's go to glass chat.
Okay, guys.
And then
Boom!
when the questions come in, we'll go to it. Okay. There you go.
There we go. All right. So... We have our Yakagani. We have our Yakagani samples
Just let me
tonight.
know when you're ready.
This is another restoration glass, reproduction glass. There we go. Look at that one. Wow, isn't that pretty? You know what this looks like? Well, it looks like it's a 3344. But when I turn this over, look at this. Anybody need a leopard or a lynx? How beautiful is that, y'all? Would that drive you crazy? Look at that. Look at that glass. There you go. That's really pretty. So let me show you. Let me tell you what colors are in this. This is a 3344 and 3344. This is lavender, green, and dark purple. And So here's another one. Remember, guys, this one, this is a 3344. Take a look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really, really, really pretty, y'all. Really pretty. So while we're working on this, and it's kind of hard for y'all to see this, but we have started on the, we have the light box for the new studio for doing our glass chats.
I meant to get a picture of that.
We're going to have our light box is ready, and we'll be, it's a small one. It's not as big as the one, those of you that have been at my shop, it's not as big as that one. But take a look at this. This is a 3307, y'all. This is so sweet that it's just absolutely gorgeous glass. And this is a RG, so it's a reproduction glass. And what is it used for? Let's see. Let's see what it's used for here. 30. And we'll go up and we'll try and find this. And a 3307. This is a lavender, pink, and purple. And what it's used for are flowers, y'all. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this glass. This is flowers. I can see this being irises. I can see this being hydrangeas. A lot of things can be done with that. And that's another glass. And so now we're going to share. Now we're going to share this one with you, y'all. If you're ready for this, here we go. Boom! Look at this. Ah, gorgeous. This is a Yakagani glass. This is 1956 reproduction glass. 1956 reproduction glass. Now this glass they're recommending is used for backgrounds. Look at the back side of this. Look at these models. Isn't this gorgeous? So this glass is white opal, turquoise, copper ruby, and silver yellow. Yeah, it is definitely silver yellow. Holy cow. That's beautiful, y'all. That's beautiful. Now keep in mind, these glasses look funky. They're gorgeous. They got models in them. And you're probably thinking to yourself, I wouldn't be able to cut that for nothing. Well, you know what, guys? You're wrong, because you can cut this glass. And it's not that difficult. And what you have to do is buckle up, buttercup, and cut some glass, because it's beautiful. And this right here will boost your confidence. Now this one right here, if I was building a fish, this would be a mahi-mahi. Look at this glass right here. So this is your part number 1669. I haven't showed you the back side yet, but let me tell you what's in this glass here. So this is a 1669, and this is white opal, turquoise, yellow, and brown. Ready? Ah, look at that. Look at this glass, y'all. Look at this. All right, so this is actually in the background glasses. I would think this would be pretty for flowers, but this is a background. This is beautiful here. So that's your Yakagani, part number 1669.
It could be a background of flowers.
It could, yeah.
Whole background.
It could be, yeah. It could just be, poof, a background of flowers. It'd be awesome. All right, guys, this is our Yakagani glass. Our sample RG 3644. Okay, and we all know what this one was. Why? Because it's a background glass. But what's the color? Lavender, green, which you can see a little bit of that right there, and dark blue. Ready? Let's see if we can find it. Oh my, there it is right there. Dark blue, lavender, and green. Y'all, and I believe the lavender looks like the one that's probably striking. The lavender is striking. That's what's giving these models to us. Isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, so
We do have some more questions.
okay.
Just a few more questions, and everybody liked the idea of buying the frame first. I don't really know any way else to do it.
I don't either, because normally, like a front door, if you're making an oval for a front door, you have to. You don't have to. I take the glass out and make a pattern of the glass itself. I don't ever try to make a rubbing of an oval, because you don't know how far back in there they go. Even the kits from Stanley are kind of messed up.
The samples, are they from a kit that people can purchase?
They are. You can call Yakagani at this phone number right here, which is their 724-628-3000, and you can purchase their sample sets. I have one sample set available for sale, But I don't know what the shipping would be on it. So
John wants to know, is there a way to shine a light source behind your stained glass pieces? Just would like to see the light effects. That's
what
what's
we were just
coming
talking
up
about.
in our new studio.
the new studio
Now-
has a light box.
Now, we may bring that light, we may be able to use that light box in a future live stream.
Not
Not
really.
really, no, because we don't have the
It's,
setup.
it's still too big
It's
to
ready
be
to
thrown
go.
around the room, But yeah, so here's the guys. I promise you, when we get into the new studio, we'll go over these again and we'll share them lit.
Share them in the light.
We'll
yeah.
share them in the light again. So don't fret, and because there are some glasses that really I just can't show you in this studio because I don't have a way to show you them truly.
Right.
And these are showing you a little bit, but actually what it is more of a teaser than anything, because these glasses are so beautiful. I mean, look at that. That just looks like a mahi-mahi. Actually, if you look at that right there, that looks like a fish's mouth open, doesn't it? Look at that with his eye. Okay.
Dakota wants to know, on the Yakagani models, do they generally put models to the front or the back?
The models are on the back. Actually, the models are in the middle of the glass. But typically the smooth side is not modeled, and that's the side that you cut from. But the models are either in the front or the back, depending on how you turn your pattern. So my suggestion would be if you do have the models and you want them to show, they're going to show up in the light no matter what. But if you reverse them, they're going to show up without any light at all. So you can kind of see how that rolls with that. If you put light behind the models, they illuminate. And then if you don't have light behind them, then the glass itself is still very pretty, but it doesn't show up quite like it should.
And the models are on the back.
Yeah, the models
on the
are
back side. That was the question.
when you're cutting it. Yeah, the models are in the back, but in the glass itself, the models are in the middle. They're one of the layers of glass.
Thank you, Loka. We
Oh.
appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, is there any other questions?
There's hearts out there all over. Where are you guys getting these emojis? They're so cute.
Yeah.
But
Miss Mary is so cute.
she's something else now. She's a piece
something
of
else.
work.
She's being good, so please stop.
Yeah. No, she went to the.
Please don't even talk to her.
She went in our bedroom.
Please don't talk.
Don't even say her name.
Very quiet. Okay. Any more questions?
Barbara
We're
got
going
me
to
a
go
new T-shirt. Do you like that?
turn glass into art.
What's your superpower?
What's your superpower?
I tell you, everybody's superpower on this channel tonight is glass.
That's right.
That's right. That's your
Glass
super.
is my superpower.
It's a superpower.
Okay, now
Okay.
let's go to. What do you want to do? You want to cut some glass?
Let's
do
cut
a
some
glass
glass.
demo.
Yeah, let's cut some
Stained
glass.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Karen.
Thank you, Karen. You're a sweetheart. Everybody, Karen's here. And please go to her channel and give her a
Check out her channel. Give her a thumbs up.
give
Subscribe
a
to her
thumb-
channel.
Yeah, subscribe to her channel.
You know, she's
Not
been
right
our.
now, after the
Yeah, after the live stream, go check it out. But because she's here now, she's not there, so she's here,
She's
and that's
here.
good. That's what we like. Karen, just tell Denver hello for us. We're glad that you're getting everything off the ground. And you know what? More than anything, Karen, Barbara and I are very happy that we can
We're
help you,
very proud of you,
and we're
Karen.
proud of you, dear. Big hugs.
Yeah. Okay, dumb question. This is from John. He said it's a dumb question.
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Now I
No,
see it
he
now.
says
Dumb
it.
question.
Is there a black glass for shadows, or do you have to make it black?
Actually, there is a black glass. Yes, black glass is just normal, everyday black glass. What if you get very intense light behind it? You get a red light through it, but most of the time it's so dense that it stays black. So yeah, they do make a black glass.
Kelly's a member for 5 months. Congratulations, Kelly.
Kelly, thank you so
I
much,
think
and we
you get
appreciate
to
it.
ask a question or something.
You do. You go ahead.
Go ahead and ask us a question.
You can
We'll
ask
be
us a
happy to
question.
answer it. Okay, we going to.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna show everybody. I brought some clear CD glass home tonight, y'all, because I get some questions, like on the channel, like when you're answering questions in the morning, and sometimes I'll see them. Is I'm not sure because I can't see you. I can't see how you're running the run because you're using opaque glass. So I brought some clear glass home, and now we're gonna chase the run by using clear glass so that you can see it maneuver itself through the score and watch it.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works, but you just need to make sure your
Where I am,
product
where I
is
need
in
to
the
be.
middle. That's what
Okay,
the
let me-
question was about.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay,
Let's do this.
let's do this.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we're gonna start. I tell you what, we're gonna start with. We're gonna start with
Less
eliminating some of this. Okay. So when I'm breaking a little bit larger piece of glass, I try to support it with my hand. And I'll put that right there. You see, you get that right in the middle, and I'm just gonna, I've got the glass laying on the table, and I'm holding this piece. And you can see that run, okay? So remember, when glass breaks, it breaks at 3,000 miles an hour. That's pretty quick. That's why it hurts so bad. So this is our clear CD. This is just Spectrum clear CD, nothing special about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to do an outside curve, and then we're going to come down, and we're going to do a reverse outside curve or an inside curve, and then we're going to come off. Here we go. Okay, so we see that line. Okay. Now this is what I consider, what I call the hot end of the score, which is where I finished, okay? So because I finished there, I'm going to take my running pliers and I'm going to just start my run. Here we go. And I just started it. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on its edge so you can see it. So the glare is right here. See that? That's where it stopped. Now, it's not going any further because my running pliers won't push it around that. So now I'm going to come over to the other end, okay? And we're going to start this run. Here we go. Listen for it to pop. Okay. Now it popped, and it's right here, okay? So now I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna pull down. Hang on, I gotta change hands, everybody. Hold on. Now make sure that your square jaw is on the top when you're pulling this down. Get in right behind your run, and we're gonna pull down. Now, you just saw that go to right there, okay? So I'm pulling down, and I'm chasing my run. Now I have my finger right underneath of that. Here we go. We're going to pull down. Now by pulling down, it went right here to the curve. Now if I'd have pulled down harder, it would have went just like this. Tink, and come off right there. But because I'm going to go in, and remember, we don't get in front of the run. We get behind it. And we pull down slightly, just like this. And now we just went around the curve, and now we're going to get in behind that. We're going to pull down, and we just went another ½ inch. And now this time we're going to go ahead and finish that out, okay? Here we go. Staying right there. We're chasing the run. All right, so, excuse me, that run, I just carried it from there, all the way around to there, and back to here. And now, each time I pulled down with my grousing pliers, it put a flare each time that I put it down. And that, y'all, is what has this piece of glass, though it's broken, has this piece of glass locked in right here. So the way to remove this without messing anything up is take your running pliers, turn them upside down, put them on about a 1/2 inch and squeeze lightly, and they will come out. Now, what you just did theoretically shouldn't have worked because you had your pliers upside down. And it won't work unless you've already started the run and everything is locked in. So let me show you what happened. Every time I pulled down with my grousing pliers, we had a flare right there. I came over, there's another flare right there. See it? See the way the glass is turned? And then we're going to come over here and we had another flare right there. See it? You can hold it and see how the glass goes out. But anyway, this is what I'm talking about chasing a run. And this works whether you're doing clear glass or opaque glass, and whether you can hear your score or you can't. So I hope that helps everybody. And whoever gets this month's box is getting a piece of clear CD glass too. So let's go ahead. We're going to square this up. Here we go. This is very easy. Now, somebody did ask a question, and it's very kind of Barbara to answer it because she answered it, the same way that I would have answered it. But why do you pull your straight lines and push your curvy lines? Because I can't see through my wrist to pull curvy lines. I just can't do it. There's just no way. And actually, you know what? 44 years ago, I was taught to cut straight lines. When you're in the commercial glazing industry, you're cutting straight lines a lot. And you're cutting long straight lines, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 feet long straight lines. And you just can't do that pushing it. It needs to be pulled, and you need to be on the move while it's happening. So we're going to straighten this out, and I'm going to do it by pulling. And you'll find if any of y'all ever take one of my classes where I teach you how to cut glass, you'll see that the scoring, that pulling and pushing, I'll teach you the difference, and you'll find that it is much easier. But you know what? It's not, again, y'all, it's not etched in stone, because what I show y'all are my techniques, and hopefully you learn a little something from my technique, you learn something from somebody else's technique, but you have already developed some of your technique. So let's take this. I'm going to get it. This is a pretty piece of glass, y'all. I'm going to share this part number with you. This is a Wismac. This is a Wismac 86. I want you to hear this. Listen to this beautiful glass. Listen to this. So we're just going to jump right in here like that. We're going to set that right there. I'm just holding the glass with my hand. Here we go. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? And did you hear that pink when it broke? That just tells it's beautifully annealed. It's beautifully annealed. Look at the edges on that. See how the green and the white is stacked up in there? That's what causes this glass to be so beautiful. And if we did the same thing that we did to that clear CD glass, and let's do that. Let's just go ahead and do it. And this, remember guys too, when you get into a pothole or a pucker mark, drive yourself right out of it. Please don't lift your cutter up, because it'll never go back where it was. So we just ran that into it. We're going to run this in. Here we go. Feels to me like it's going to break right there. That was the deepest. That wasn't just a pothole. That was a Horry County pothole. That's where we live, Horry County. Uh-oh, it made it. It made it. It came right around to that curve where I thought it was not going to. So the same rules apply. This is an opaque piece of glass. This isn't clear CD, but here we go. We're going to pull down. And we're going to chase. Now the run's right here. Right here. and we just chased that right around, just like that. Look at the back side of this glass, y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is the Wismac 86. And if you really need a beautiful green that has a little bit of gray in it, this is your one right here. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this. I'm gonna put a little bit of this in this month's box, so the winner will be getting a little bit of that as well. And then I have one more piece of glass that I'm gonna share with y'all after we take in some more questions. Okay. And I'm just gonna give you that to think about. Just think about that while we're gone.
That's gorgeous.
Isn't it? Oh.
Yes, it is.
So using that in the Goat Island window, it's just so pretty.
Let's see. Suggestions for Caucasian skin, and I think that a couple people have answered that. Ray has answered that. Ray had some suggestions with the champagne pink cathedral, an opal, warm pinkish.
Yeah, I can't remember, but the Spectrum makes an 8 something. But yeah, so there is a flesh tone, and it's a peach color.
Is that a Wismac flesh tone? And it has a really nice texture on it that resembles
yeah, I think it was a Wismac because we used it. Remember when we did the Jessica Rabbit and we painted her face where she was turned side? That's the shade that we used, and it really held her rouge quite well.
Robin wanted to know, just to clarify again, you're pulling down with your hand that's holding the glass, not the grousers.
No,
correct?
I'm pulling with my hand. The grousers.
That's what you just
yes,
said.
the grousers are just holding the glass so that I can work it. You'll find, Robin. That was Robin, right? Huh?
Yeah.
So Robin, you'll find, and this is what I find. Maybe you'll find it. But when I'm pulling down with the glass and I've got my finger and I'm holding my hand under that score, as that glass runs, I can feel it across the top of my hand. And that's telling me what's going on with the glass so that I can continue to try and control it while really it wants to control me.
Let's see. What's the number for the green glass again?
86.
86. Okay, and Mary Beth wants to know, is it better to pull on the piece you are taking off or on the piece that you want to use?
Well, that depends on which side that you're holding the pliers on, Mary Beth. Because I had to switch hands. I had to go from right-handed to left-handed so I could turn the glass around so that I could get a hold of the bigger piece. I guess the answer to your question, Mary Beth, is I don't really pay any attention to what side of the glass I grab, but I would say I'm probably breaking with holding the glass with my hand that I want to keep, and the pliers are taking the edge off.
So you'd have to plan
so what's
that
in my
out.
hand? Yeah, you'll have to. What's in my hand is usually what I keep. Okay.
Okay, Oopsie Daisy Studios. They love what we're teaching, and they're learning so much. And thank you.
Oh, well, we appreciate it, and
They're just starting out in stained glass
welcome.
and learning so much.
Welcome.
Should we?
When do we get the new studio built?
Yeah, we're excited. We just made our little light box for the new studio, so I meant to. Well, it'll be in next week's video.
Yeah. Well, we got the tempered glass in it, and we got the
lights are in it.
Lights are in it, and yeah.
Next week's video will go to members first, and then it'll be released the next day to public view.
Yeah. So, and keep in mind, guys, that those of you that if you want to help support the new renovation for the studio, you can Venmo us at ARTyRV, or you can super stickers and super chats are awesome. Also, greatly appreciated.
John Hayes wants to know, just curious, if for whatever reason you can't find a particular shade of color of glass, can you apply paint to the glass?
You can, but a lot of times, who was that? Who said that?
John Hayes.
John. A lot of times you can't find the right color. There's a technique that Tiffany invented. It's called plating. And what he would do is to create colors that he was looking for is he would take the one color and then he'd put another color behind it and sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 colors behind it in order to create the color that he was looking for. So plating is an option as opposed to painting. You can't use regular paints on glass anyway, but you can paint them and fire them. But I think plating might give you a little bit better job of what you're looking for, because the painting is going to be not going to be exactly what you're looking at either. So, because a lot of times the colored paints will change just a little bit in while they're being fired.
Oopsie Daisy wants to know, we're finding cutting on the grid surfaces challenging, but fear if we cut on a flat surface that glass bits will scratch the glass if we're working on, if we don't use the grid.
Well, I don't use a grid. I cut on plywood, and I have one of these bad boys right beside me. So, and I also cut, I cut on the light box. The light box I have to keep swept off, and I break my glass over a trash can, not on the table that I'm cutting on. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about doing it, oopsie daisy. But my suggestion would be to get a couple of bench brushes, break your glass over the trash can, and if you're not real happy with cutting on the little grid pattern, then don't use it. If that's something, man, if that's throwing a cog in your gear,
I hate those.
I hate them too.
Your glass
But there's a lot of
slides
people that
around
use
on it.
them,
Yeah,
and
your
there's
glass-
nothing wrong with it. But get you a little $9 bench brush.
Thank you, Michael.
Michael, hey, thank you.
We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
get you a bench brush, and something else that'll help you if you're cutting on, and get smooth birch plywood for your tabletops. But something else that will help you is just put a piece of regular white paper on your table while you're cutting your patterns out. But don't break your glass on your cutting surface. You break your glass over a trash can right beside you.
Yeah, you'll get in the habit.
Yeah. It'll all come to you and be like, do, do, do. You know what? I attest building stained glass windows and cutting glass to playing golf. There's a lot of things to remember before you have to hit the ball.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. Do you grind every piece of glass, or is it okay to not grind the piece if it feels okay? If it fits okay, you don't need to grind it.
Right. No, if it fits okay. Well, and actually, if it fits good.
If it fits good.
Then
just
no,
make
you don't
sure
need to
it doesn't
grind
have
it.
any flares on it that go over the line or anything like that. And check it before you foil it and after you foil it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, no, you don't have to foil every piece of glass. But if you're not going to grind every piece of glass, but your cutting better be pretty proficient. And if you're really good at staying to your pattern the way it's supposed to be, there's no reason to grind every single piece of glass. But it does, if you're not going to grind it, it better be clean for your foil to stick to it. That's for sure.
Oopsie Daisy wants to know, there are full-timers, and are we still RVing? They're trying to figure out the storage of their glass. It is a challenge.
Well,
Matilda, thank you so much.
Oh, Matilda, thank you.
You're the best.
Hey, the RV, what we did is we had 6 bins down each side, and we designated the first bin outside the front door to the right as our stained glass bin. So our tools stayed in that bin, and our glass, we only traveled on the road with 12 by 12s and very few 16 by 21s. Most of the time it was 12 by 12s. And actually, you need to get a wooden crate because you don't need things flopping around and pack everything tight. But usually, one bin, we felt very comfortable because we weren't doing shows. But when we got to the RV parks, we would set up and make product just to make the weekend go by fast, and that was fun. But we just used one bin out of the 12 on the RV. So.
And we're not RVing anymore.
No.
And that's another story, but we'll tell it to you at another time. We have another story to tell you tonight.
In a little bit.
In a little bit. let's see. Magali's here. Hello, Magali.
Hey, young lady.
Thank you, Matilda. That was very sweet of you. Paul wants to know, will foil stick to glass without grinding?
It will, but again, like Barbara said, and we'll reiterate on that, is that the glass needs to be, the edges need to be cut so that they're very good. No flares and no little oysters or anything like that. So yeah, you don't have to grind the glass, every single piece of glass, but your cutting needs to be very, very proficient.
Okay, so thank you, Ed.
So it's really good cutting or long time grinding, either way you want to do it.
So mostly what you're going to have to do is just cut your glass, put it on there, and most of the time it's going to fit because you guys are learning to cut glass real good. And every once in a while you might have to trim, on the grinder.
And it's okay just to clean. See, the thing about the grinder is it's not designed to, well, it does shape glass if you spend enough time on it. But the whole thing about the grinder is it's just there to clean up your work so that the foil sticks easier. That's all. The majority of you, like Barbara said, are really, really good at cutting glass. And so a lot of times you may not need to grind that particular piece of glass. But do remember, watch the flares, because if the bottom is sticking out longer than the top, then your piece of glass is not going to fit together. It's going to separate. And what the grinder does is it makes this all 90 degrees so that the two edges of the glass, when they lay against each other, fit against each other. That's all.
Mary Beth wanted you to know that Frank wanted you to know that he put the line on his cutter to mark where the wheel is, and it has really helped his accuracy.
Awesome, man.
Good idea.
Good idea, Frank. Thanks for the tip, buddy.
Okay. John wants to know, I've noticed and been amazed by old church stained glass on large-scale pics of people that are realistic. Does realistic faces only work on large-scale pieces?
No. Realistic faces, depending on the artist, can be painted on your skill, can be painted any size. I had a gentleman, a long time ago, probably 30 years ago. We were doing an African American Baptist church, and we had the crucifixion was the center window that we were hired to do to match the rest of the windows, and the crucifixion had to be painted. And I found a guy on the West Coast that actually painted Jesus this big, his face this big. You see that? This big, with really tight curled hair, and every aspect about his face that bigger, a little bit bigger than a 50-cent piece, was absolutely make you fall right out of the church pew. It was so beautiful. So depending on the artist and who they are, those things can be done. I tell you, another a really good painter on glass is Derek Hunt. And Derek does faces and memorials. And when you're going to do memorials, you better be right on the ticket with it. But Derek is a really, really phenomenal glass artist painter. And he shows it every time a lot. He shows it a lot. But yeah, so it doesn't matter if the face is as big as mine, life size, on a 6-foot figure, or if it's on a 10-inch pictorial of Christ on the cross and his face is only this big. If the artist is good, they can do it for you.
Okay, I have another question. Cheryl's question is there a limit, a rule of thumb, to the largest piece of glass you should include in your design? She uses Dragonfly to design. Largest piece of glass.
Typically, you can put the pieces of glass in there, I guess, as big as you can cut them or you can get them. But the one thing that you want to be careful of is a a lot of times big isn't always beautiful because your lines don't do a lot of different things. So keep an eye on because you're using a program to design the window. You can design the window yourself and not put those big pieces in there. And what you're going to find is you get big pieces of glass, you get floppy lead, and things can come apart sideways when you got really big expanses of lead. So, I don't think that I probably don't build windows with pieces of glass any bigger than maybe 4 inches by 12 inches. I know I did that a little while ago, and I
I know.
thought I was going to fall out of my
take
chair.
these off, I think.
I'll just lock them down.
I think we should just take them off. Okay.
Okay.
One more question. We'll take one more question, and I guess you'll do some glass cutting demos.
Sure, if you want.
Okay. Cutter oil. They put a couple drops in the handle, and it just pours out of the blade. Do they have two defective cutters?
Now, it sounds like you don't have a wick up inside your cutter because it's not supposed to pour out of the blade.
You should just put 2 drops in there.
And the oil should only come out when you depress the head. So
maybe you were depressing the head.
yeah, so the oil should only come out when you depress the head, just like that. That's it. When you depress the head, there's a wick in here. Okay, there's a wick inside of a stainless steel tube, and when you depress the head, that releases the oil to come down to the cutter head.
So, try just a couple drops of oil in there. You should have plenty of oil in there now. Just dry it off, and
and
you should be fine.
Dry it off for sure.
If the wick's in there, you should be fine. You might have been pressing the head while you were putting the oil in. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, and once the
put
wick
too
gets
much.
wet, that's it. Once you put oil in your cutter and the wick gets wet, just don't put oil
Your
in it
wick
anymore.
should be wet.
If your wick is wet,
Your wick is
it
wet.
works wonderfully.
Mills wants to know if I told Magali about the box. I have not told Magali, but Magali knows. And Magali, I'll send you that box when you get home. I didn't think you'd want to travel with it. So,
Yeah, and it costs a lot to send it to Canada.
yeah.
So either that, pick it up on your way home because we'd
Yeah,
love to
that's
see
what-
you,
That's what the trick was.
and or let us know when you get back home, hon, and we'll get it in the
We'll
mail
ship
to you.
it to you. Yes, ma'am.
And just a little prize to you.
Yeah. And, okay, so Ed's going to do a glass demo, and then we're going to tell you our little story about how we quit our job and started our stained glass.
Okay, this is beautiful glass here. This is a bullseye, y'all. So this is the back edge, but this is a bullseye. Okay, and I've been using this glass in the latest window for the Merle's Inlet project. But I want you to look at the difference in the variations of this glass here. It's got cobalt blue, green, amber, pink. Oh, it's a beautiful glass. But I want you to hear how this cuts. Okay, just like this. See that? I fell right into the ocean. When you get to those spots, and you can see you're soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard. When you get to those little spots, just don't pick up, okay? So we're going to take this. We're going to go from the ocean right into the sunset, apparently. This is gorgeous, y'all. There you go. That's what I want you to see. I want you to see how these colors are so stacked up and beautiful. Watch out, man.
What's the part number on that?
I don't have a part number on this today, but I'll get one for you next week. I'll have a part number for it. I got the sheet in my office. So
Cheryl wants to know, for the glass box giveaway, do I need to be able to pick it up in South Carolina? No,
No.
Cheryl. We'll ship it to you. It's just a small glass of cutoffs.
it's about 6 pounds of glass. That's all.
Okay. All right, Mary. Okay, let's go to our story. Let's go
We're
to
going
our
to story tell, right, Mary?
Yeah. So
Give
in
me a story
1985, we met.
We did.
And in 1986, well, the end of 1985 in September, I was working in radio. Ed was working in the glass business. And we moved in together in 1986 in the September.
Well, Barbara said, I am not moving to the
1985.
beach until I have a job.
1985.
So
we
we
moved
found her
in
a
together.
job.
Yeah, in September. And
Get down.
we were planning on getting married, but we weren't married yet. We lived together until, well, we moved into a house on the river
Yeah, that I never
in
thought
March.
we'd get. I was like,
in March.
we
I said,
can't get
honey, I
that
found a house on the river. We can't afford that. I said, yeah, we can. It's only $500 a month. So we
40 years ago, that was a lot of money.
so we moved to the river, and we lived there 1986. We got married in June.
In June of 1986.
And then in,
Excuse me.
am I boring you?
No, it's not a boring story. It's actually, it's quite a love story, y'all. But
But he's a better
all prior to
storyteller,
that.
But
no.
I just wanted to get to the,
No, go ahead.
to the part.
Go ahead.
And then in 1986, we got married. And in July, we got married in June. In July, we decided to start doing stained glass on our back porch because Ed was doing little things, in the kitchen. And
That's right. on the dining room table that my grandmother bought me bought us for our wedding gift.
Yeah, they bought it for
She'd
our
have
wedding.
been so mad.
So we put plywood on it immediately and made it into a table to do stained glass. So then we moved to the back porch, and we used to have a beautiful view of the river from our living room, but all we had a view of for about how many months? 3 or 4
3 or 4
months.
months, yeah.
Was just stained glass
Was just stained
everywhere.
glass everywhere.
Just work, more work.
Yeah.
So we found a little place.
We did.
We did.
We found a little hallway, okay, next to the jewelry, next to a insurance company.
It was just a
And
straight little gallery
It was
that opened in the back.
Yeah, it was $200 a month, and
We both still worked.
we both still worked our regular jobs. So Barbara was working, 8 or 10, 12 hours a day, and I'm working 8 or 10, 12 hours a day and weekends, and it's just like. And my
we
dad
worked weekends at the
shop, at
and
our
nights.
new shop, and nights.
at the shop.
And my dad, who was my father, Pops, who was retired from the Air Force after 28 years, would go down to the shop and keep the door open. He'd just keep the door unlocked, and people would come in, and he'd say, I got an order for some window pane glass today for you and all that. And Pops was a jet engine specialist. Okay, he was in the Air Force for 28 years. And the last probably 5 years he was in the service, all he did was teach. He taught school. He taught young airmen coming up about the new jet engines that were coming out for these new jets. But anyway, so he kept that open. And at one morning, I don't remember exactly what day it was or anything, but one morning Barbara said to me, why don't you just quit?
Quit your job.
Quit your job. Yeah.
Your
Why don't
day
you just
job.
quit your job at the commercial glass company, and let's make a go of this. She said, we're doing all right now. I'm doing much better, and I was doing all right. We had work to do at the shop. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too bad.
He had enough work to stay busy.
To stay busy and to generate what I was bringing home, having to drive 25 miles each direction.
That was the deciding factor. He had enough work going at the store to cover his income
that I'd be missing.
That he'd be missing because we didn't have a savings account.
We barely had a car.
My father used to say we lived at the poverty level.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really true. But to him, it seemed
like
it
was, yeah.
But
yeah, he'd be
anyway,
like, Ed.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do it, buddy. Yeah.
But anyway, we were very frugal, and eventually. So anyway, that was.
So in 1986.
So 1986.
The fall of '86, right?
You hadn't quit your job yet. He quit his job in 1987.
That's right.
Quit his job in 1987. I continued to work until 1990, and he worked there at the.
Well, things started going good after that.
And then in 1990, Hurricane Hugo came.
89.
Oh,
Hurricane Hugo.
89, yes. The end of 89, Hurricane Hugo came through.
And
I was working in radio. He was still at the glass company. All of a sudden,
the bottom
glass,
fell out of that.
the glass company went crazy. Everyone needed glass. No one needed advertising for radio. I was in TV then. So
Oh,
I
that's right. You were
switched
working
to
for the
TV,
television station.
So I was working for the TV station. No one was really advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was plenty of news, but as far as advertising, the big accounts like Budweiser, they weren't advertising. So anyway.
All the beachwear stores, they were
Beachwear
giving away
stores were
T-shirts. They weren't
closed.
selling them. They were giving them
So
away.
it was really hard for the account reps to make any money.
Yeah.
But so I just decided to leave, and we closed. Well, what did we do? You were
Well, what we did was we 1989, we were still in that little tiny building downtown, and I hired a couple of guys that I knew that were, because we started picking up this work. The phone was ringing, and I was looking at jobs. Once I could get into the beach, I was looking at jobs where I'd walk into these units, and the water was over top of my boots, my work boots, and in these $1 million condominiums, and the Venetian blinds on the curtains, they looked like spaghetti because the windows had got beat out early in the storm, and then they blew all night long, and the Venetian blinds looked like spaghetti hanging there. And we were doing, I mean, it was just really, if you can imagine, the Hurricane Hugo came in just north of Charleston, okay? And we're 100 miles north of that. And y'all, there were boulders in the middle of Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There were boulders. I don't know how they got there, and I know they came from the ocean, but they were as big as pickup trucks in the middle of Ocean Boulevard that were washed up from the ocean onto the shore. It's crazy. And everything on the first and second floor for 30 miles was gone in the hotels. It was all washed to the other side of the street. It was crazy.
So when all
we were
that's
still in
going-
love, though.
when all that's going on, we're still in this little tiny building, and so we made the decision. Okay, we're out of here. We've got to get a bigger building. We had no money. I mean, we did have money coming in, but it wasn't there yet.
It wasn't that kind of money.
We were taking jobs. We really didn't have the money to like rent a building, do the renovation, blah blah blah. But we did have a check that came in the mail from Beneficial Finance
And those of you that are about our age, you'll remember those.
for $1,500.
Yeah.
And so when we were going through all this after the hurricane and everything, by the way, we never got any FEMA money for that.
No, we never did.
And so that
Barbara
check
said, "I'm
came
going to
in.
hang on to this
I
just
said,
because."
I'm going to hang on to this check. I don't want to use it, but we might need it, you know. So I hung on to it. So we were talking, and I pulled that check out. I said, "This is the check.
Let's get moved.
Let's go." And so we went and we talked to the landlord. There was a building.
One
for
of our
rent.
dearest friends.
And he was the best guy. He treated us so good. He had a building. It was $500 a month. I did a budget. I said we got to make $10,000 a month for us to pay our help, pay our rent, pay our utilities, blah blah blah. $10,000 a month. The first month we made $10,000. The second month we made $15,000. The third month we rented another
1,200 square feet of the
1,200
building.
square feet, and
Yeah.
we just blossomed. Our business
So what
blossomed.
they did, we paid them to put the wall in because we didn't need that other space, and 2 months later we paid them to take the wall out.
Yeah.
Because we needed the space. So we just kept growing and growing and growing, and a lot of that was due to our employees, but a lot of that was due to Barbara because Barbara would make sure that everything was exactly the way it needed to be. All I had to be in control of were the guys. And, you know, and a lot of time, fortunately, I'd known them previously before we went into business for ourselves, and I knew which ones were good and which ones weren't. So I did hire the good ones. So that worked out really well for us. And so after Hurricane Hugo came along and things kind of calmed down, which was about, what, 2 years?
Yeah, yeah.
It took about 2 years to put the beach back together.
Oh, it was longer than that, I think. Well,
It
we
might
were
have been
still
even
working
longer
on
than-
condos.
Yeah, we were still working
But
on
we did all
condominiums.
kinds of work besides stained glass, and then the stained glass grew phenomenally
Yeah.
in the 90s. And by 1999, we built 7,000 square feet of commercial buildings.
Buildings, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
we had 1,200 square feet behind it. That used to be our glass blowing and our pottery studio that we built for our son. And well, we built for us, but we built for him too because he was wanting to do it. What happened with the pottery studio is we were 10 years too soon for our neighborhood. That's all it was. We were just too early, weren't we?
Okay.
With the pottery
So it's
studio.
8:15. We didn't do any more glass demos,
Sure,
but
we can.
we'll.
Let's cut this piece of glass up.
Okay, we'll have one more glass demo, and then we'll answer any questions you guys have.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple.
Okay, there are?
Yeah, there's a couple.
What was this glass called again? Oh, you're going to tell them next week.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you next week because I have it on my desk. I don't know why I didn't grab a part number. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's really pretty. It is a full 3 mm, and it's really, really, really pretty. So here we go. And it guys, again, even though you're cutting the glass and you get all these, you see all these little marks in here and this texture. When you flip this over, the texture is even heavier duty. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous, though? But so just remember, rule of thumb, when you're scoring glass, don't pick your cutter up. Drive through. And we're just going to take that. Can you see your mommy? Now, because this runs to right here, this runs to right here, we should just be able to do this. There we go. And then we just kind of chase that around. Y'all, this glass is really pretty, and I'm sorry I didn't get you a part number for that. But I am going to share another color with you. And this is a gray with a green running through it. And I call it a mossy green, but this is a 565D. It's a Wismac. It's a W 565D, and D meaning being dense. And listen to this when you score it. We're just going to cut us a strip off of this. Here we go. So you're probably going to be able to hear it. And remember, guys, it only takes 8 pounds of pressure. Okay, 8 pounds of pressure, which is enough to depress the head on your cutter. Here we go. Ready? Depress the head. Listen. There it is. When it hits when my cutter bottoms out, you'll hear it. Listen. And that's it. That's all I did. That's all the pressure it takes. Grab your running pliers. Hold it in your hand, and remember, if you've got something really big, you can not lay it down, not put weight on it, but just secure it on the table like that for yourself. And cut that. And again, y'all, this is a Wismac. If you're just starting out doing art glass, if you're just starting out doing stained glass, and you can purchase Wismac in the brick and mortar store in your neighborhood, do so. Because what's going to happen is the Wismac glass is going to build up your confidence way up here, and before you know it, you're just going to be cutting glass and nobody's going to be able to stop you.
June of 86, June 14th is our anniversary.
Yeah, we just had our 39th.
39th, yes. And Miss Mary is here to say hello to everyone, and
she just wanted to tell everybody that she loves you.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
And I will tell you all this, we found a great place to buy her snacks. And those of you that have puppies, Dollar General has really good snacks at a really good rate.
Oh yeah, we'll tell you the rest of the story.
This was just This was just the first chapter.
Yeah, after we bought that 7,000 square foot of property, the first month we moved in. Well, we built a little building there first.
That was the pottery.
The first
studio.
year, the pottery and glass blowing studio, and then we built the big building, which was 6,000 square feet. We moved in a month later. We got flooded out. So we'll tell you that story.
Right.
And I also skipped the part where the first 2 months that we moved into the
River.
No, when we moved into the new building on Main Street in 1986, he was working on a job and almost lost his arm. His arm was almost
Was severed.
it was severed, and he almost lost it. And that was when we first started. So we've made it through a lot of
Yeah.
catastrophes,
Sure enough.
but we're still together. So thank you, John. He said, "Congrats."
Yeah, you know what? I tell you, I waited
June
a long
13th,
time.
1980 was
I
our
waited a
first
long
date.
time to
Oh,
get married, and I
nice.
told Barbara I promised her I would never leave her.
Well, thank you, honey.
Well, I go to work every morning, but that's
He
about it.
does. And when he leaves, I say, "Are you leaving me?" Okay, guys, we got to go. We've spent a lot of time together, and it's been fun.
It has. And John, do you have a video showing what you said about plating?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, yeah, John, we still got a couple questions, Barb. We'll take off in a minute. But John, hey, so plating, you're going to find out about plating, of course, in a book by Tiffany. But you can also look it up, and there's, let me think.
We do not have a video.
We don't have a video of plating, no. We very seldom would do a window where that was called for anyway. But it's definitely a very interesting process. And John, what you're doing is you're just taking a piece of glass and cutting it the same size as the piece of glass that's in front of it, copper foiling it and attaching it to it. And you're stacking it. Plating is stacking. That's what it is. And so, like, if you took, I don't know if you can see through this or not, but I don't know if you can see through that. So that would be considered plating, John, right there. So you would take the stringer, okay, and then you could put the pink underneath of it. And then if you wanted to, you could put a darker pink underneath of that. See how you're creating. But it's typically done with transparents or cathedrals, and then a opaque on the very back to push the color forward. So it's kind of fun if you got a light box, stack your colors, and you can kind of see what it does.
Okay. So we'll be back here next Monday at 7 o'clock. Next week we have a new video coming out. I think it should be coming out on Tuesday to the members, come out on Wednesday to the rest of y'all, to our subscribers and to the public. If you want to be a member, you can join at the ARTyRV page.
Right.
And thank you all for being here tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Guys,
Thanks
it's really
for the
great.
super chats and all the love.
Yeah.
We do appreciate that too.
And we will be getting you updated again on the new studio.
Yeah. And look for some shorts coming out this week
That's
as well. Okay. We'll see you all next
everybody.
week.
So for the ARTyRV channel, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And welcome, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see
We
you
love
next week.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.